Hi Aries. Welcome to the merry, merry month of May for Yin and Yang Binary Star Tarot. Let's jump right in. What we've got here is we've got three triangles within a major triangle. Here we have our contributing blended energy forces of archetypal energy. Here we have Yin, and here we have Yang. So it operates as a system. We're going to start with the blended energies, archetypal energy. And let's talk about May. The forefront, what's driving the whole archetypal effort in May. Your beacon, your lighthouse, if you will. What's driving it is justice. So let's talk about the perfect woman, the divine feminine in archetypal form, meaning some sort of outside influence, divinely inspired influence. That's what's at the head of the prow of our ship, Aries, that's going through the month of May. Well, what do you want to have out of that? I think it'll unfold as we go along, but let's just start out with remembering that she carries the sword of truth and she also carries the balance of justice. So let that be enough for now. We'll get back to her, and she's the head honcho for us, okay? Nice. You want to take some action, and I think that what I'm feeling here is that getting on your chariot, what you want to do, if you're going to link in and sync up with what's being shown here, is you want to have the Cancer influence of the chariot and the moon, lunar energy, be at the forefront. This is not about the road warrior who's getting in and with all the macho gusto, grabbing the reins and going to town into the chariot race. This is more about the understanding of where you are in the archetypal flow. At the end of the first tier of 7 cards, number 7. And so that means that you're at the end game of a certain part of your development and the beginning of the next phase. And pretty much the first tier is all about getting your feet wet, getting into the rhythm of what it's like to live as a human, as a spirit in a material world. Okay, well, that's why the chariot sits at the end, because now you're ready to go out with the tools and the instruments that you gained during your beginning 7 cards of the major arcana, and you're going to take them into your future life. But in this case, it's an invisible it's movement, but I think it's more invisible. That's what I'm feeling here. That you don't want to bring up the idea that the moon, which is controlling all the water, the Cancer, which is a water sign, that you don't want that to quell your fire. But you want to be able to maybe sprinkle some of that water on the fire and modulate it, moderate it, make sure that it stays at the level that you want because too much or too little will not serve you. Last but not least, and then once again, we're talking about the umbrella over our spiritual biosphere here. This whole thing operates as one entity, one living, breathing dynamic in a biosphere mode, in a spiritual biosphere. So, last but not least, contributing to the laid-back attitude of the charioteer here, she, is this kind of energy of the Hanged Man, which is also somewhat meditative, somewhat contemplative, right? So you're not envisioning something fiery and bombastic here. It's more a slow simmer, a slow burn of high intensity and really profound application of energy. That's, I think, what wants to be the byline, the profound application of the energy. And how does this all funnel up through to the prow of the ship, which actually makes the way through the waves of the month, is through justice. So she is going to be helping in both of these cases with the balance of it and staying close to the truth about the world of your life. Let's go to yin. Yin. What we've got here is your minor prow, a subheading, which is no less important, of course, but a subheading under the big picture in the yin mode is at the prow is the lovers. At the action place, a place where you want to consider what you're going to do during the month, you have the Nine of Swords. So let's take a look. There's the lovers. There's the Nine of Swords. And following that up with what is the solution to your equation for the month of May? The Devil. Excellent. And actually, this Devil is at the beginning of the final tier, which is very interesting. We have the end of the first tier of 7 cards, and here we have the beginning of the third tier. There's some relationship there. It's somewhat remote, depending on how adept you are on taking it forward and using it, etc. So, all in all, I want to go kind of a single story for this. So what's on your mind, it looks like, Yin, is relationships in general and perhaps a significant other. And that's good. That's also something to use for your evolution. There's never, in my experience, there's never a time that the tarot is exclusively mundane. Typically, it wants to always point in a higher, moving upward direction, something that increases your vibration, something that refines your spirit. So here we go. And the Lovers is an excellent place to do it. That, by the way, can marry very nicely with the leadership of the Justice card here. So relate it, because by looking to her, you're seeing, well, where am I going? Where am I going in my evolution? Okay? You want love? Well, that's the way to probably cut to the chase. Get the shortest distance between 2 points is to do the internal work that it takes to be able to visualize what's next, what's your next move. And here's your potential move. What you have to perhaps draw upon is the Nine of Swords, which is, you got a lot of things that have followed you through this march, through your life to get you to the 9, through the process that going from the Ace to the 9, and now you're ready to step into the 10. And what you've brought with you now is a time to contemplate what you want to take with you into the 10. Do you want to take all 9 swords? Do you want to take 3? None? That's kind of what's at play here. What you want to do is like shine your internal spotlight on it. Look carefully at what those swords represent in terms of the thoughts that brought you to your place right now. And lastly, what the solution here is, the devil wants you to cut to the chase in the way that will take away illusion, so that you are confronting and embracing the dark side, the shadow side, with full openness and full clarity, so that nothing escapes you. And that's what gets you, going. So that went down. So here through the process, now back it up, and we come back up here to the Lovers, and that's what gets you there, is taking the false truths, anything you've been carrying along with you as part of one of your Nine of Swords, and call it BS. Call, things that don't serve you. Call the things that you want to take with you, even if they seem somewhat, let's say something seems unnecessary to take with you, but you want to. You feel like ferreting out and massaging out, what does this really mean? Well, it's all fair game. It's up to you. Yang, where we go here is, it looks to me like there's some kind of a relationship here. And I'm almost convinced, totally in my heart and soul, that it's about you and a younger person. Could be a male, could be a son or a daughter, could be a younger male or female, divine feminine or divine masculine in your life. But the rub here is that the head of your game is making a choice, and that choice is about what you're going to do with what you got down here. So you got, what you're going to want to do is, Yang, is to bring in the balanced element of your divine feminine and the nurturing component, but also the component that is inspired. So try this. Inspired nurturing. Something you're confronting, that wants to be gone, wants to be changed between you and a younger person, and change it. But do it through inspiration, and do it through that's probably the choice. The choice is yours to take on the mantle of your inner divine feminine, Yang, or not. And choosing it gets you to the finish line. And what it might uncover, it just occurred to me that as I looked at this and I saw how intently the Page of Cups here is looking at the cup, and how that a lot of times with our younger people, our sons and daughters, we fail or lose sight of, for a time, that gentle, simple, innocent soul that's within all the factors of daily life. And if we are able to take that veil away for a minute, who's there? This young person that's all heart and soul, that has everything to give, that has this huge cup just waiting and waiting for you. What an excellent, it's excellence from the major arcana is in its simplicity, I think. And the simplicity is merely this: stay with truth. Stay with this knowing of what strength comes from: clarity, transparency, openness, truth. That is justice in its essence. Stay with that. Keep the horses at the pace that you want them to go. During the month of May, pace yourself, and you determine the pace. And what lends itself to How do you determine the pace? Through the contemplation of what you know about yourself, and it's a time to visit what you know about yourself. And I wish you well. This is a great reading for the month of May, Aries. And until next month, I bid you a fond adieu. Be well. See you next time. Love you all. Bye for now.